Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 Heart channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. If you are here, that means you are beyond nosy and you want to hear my show reviews. And if you're here for the show reviews, we are now reviewing ding, 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 Love and Marriage, Huntsville. We are on season 9, episode 8. And the name of this episode is called Stirring the Pot Over. Hold on one second, my good people. Let me make sure that I'm in the biz not E and the rice biz not E. Because hold on. All right, so it started off where it left the fuck off for the last time. These people still at the barbecue. These people are still at the barbecue for the kids. Remember, they had the graduation barbecue for Marquez and Trisha's son and daughter Xavier and something. I can't remember the young ladies. Anywho, um, and Ken is still up there giving his speech. He's basically saying how, he wants to thank everybody for coming out. Remember, Marquez cut him off and was like, hey, how you doing? Out of Pappy. Let everybody know, I know, Ken, you think you these kids' father, but no, bitch, it's actually me, right? So in Ken's confessional, he is saying like, oh, I don't appreciate Marquez coming into my house and acting like the man in the house. When you come around here, you got to show some respect. Ken, why I like you, and why I can appreciate the good guy and the Teddy Ruxpin in you, and I actually respect that. But I want to let you know something, right? Because I remember something, and I'm gonna let y'all know moving forward as I talk about the episode. But Ken, in all fairness, and let's be fair, if I'm being clear, I think that you moved into what used to be Marquez and Trisha's home. I don't know if they got a new home or not, but I think if I'm not mistaken, you moved in what used to be Ken and Trisha's home. So if it's your home now, I don't know if that's really true, because if it used to be if it used to be Marquez and Trisha's home, then you moved into their home. And also, Ken, Marquez and Trisha are married. Granted, according to her, the papers is notarized. They're about to go in. They on their way in. They sitting on the county clerk desk. The judge is about to sign. All that, all that, all that, all that. But at the end of the day, they're not officially divorced yet. So that is his wife. And if that's the house they used to live in, that is his home. And baby, those are his children. So I know that you are there spending all your money and spending all your time and being a good guy. Thank God for you, Teddy Ruxpin. This dude is very much appreciated. But at the end of the day, you cannot discount Marquez. But again, we'll get into a little more of that later. Anyway, meanwhile, on the other side of the barbecue, Melody felt as though it was a good time to address Maurice about his DUI situation, right? So I could see immediately when Melody decides to say anything about it, you could see that Maurice is already defensive off the rip, right? And what he basically was saying was, because when she addressed it, Melody girl, your slip was motherfucking showing this episode. Melody, your slip was showing. But anyway, when she addressed it, she opened it up with basically an inquiry, like, I saw on the news that this happened. I just wanted to know, because I'm not clear. I know you're the attorney of the group, and you're Hezekiah Walker, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X are rolled into one, but I just don't understand how that type of man could make such a poor decision. And like I say, your man Maurice was already on defense, because I guess he had already heard she was going around town trying to figure out what happened and what he did and why he did it and what he did after and what was his blood alcohol level and yada yada yada. So he came prepared. I also want to say something you definitely are well aware. In every scene moving forward from right now, you could see every bit of the attorney in Maurice, right? So he was like, basically, Melody, do you know what happened? Do you know anything about what happened? Because you giving me that you don't know what the fuck you talking about, and all you want to do is run your mouth, right? So she was like, well, I just feel like I was very disappointed in you, Maurice, because it seemed like after you made a poor decision, you was right outside partying like you didn't just make a poor decision that could have jeopardized everybody's life, right? And she was like, I just think that you should do better, since you're Hezekiah Walker, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King. I think you would know better, right? So He was like, you know what I feel like? I feel like you don't know what the fuck you talk about. A. B. I also feel like you're attacking my character. And then he did his attorney spin on it and was like, I also feel like because this situation is so close to home to you, because of your grandmother, you're now trying to loop me into what happened to your grandmother and make me the villain in that story when that's not my story. And you don't know my story because, bitch, your ass wasn't there, right? So then when he said all of that, they discussed the interpretation of Maurice's tone. Because of course now she's like, okay, well, y'all, I feel like you're being very defensive, and I feel like you feel attacked, and so on and so forth. And she was trying to use her words, but what she forgot is he's an attorney and he used his as well. So he was tearing Melody ass up a little bit, and he also was tearing her up in his confessional because he was like, you know what? First of all, Melody, bitch, I'm not Marceau, Tisha, or anybody else you run circles around, so you won't get me. Number two, you definitely won't get me in a legal case because I'm an attorney. And number three on the list, let's talk about you. All you do is go around and act like you want peace, but all you do is stir up bullshit. And because of that, your slip is showing, which is the one time that it did show, which is one of the many times that it did show, right? So Kimmy was present when they was having that back and forth, right? So Kimmy was kind of lurking around the scene because she didn't want to go over, because what she said, she felt like she should let them talk because her interjecting would have only caused the situation to escalate, and she wasn't looking for it to escalate. And I think she was also low-key saying, I know my nigga can hold it down against Melody, so I'm not worried about having to have his back, right? So Destiny is now in a confessional. And in the confessional, she's there saying, you know what I see with you, Destiny? You know what I see with you, Destiny? And I like you. I like you. You one of my favorite characters on here, right? One of my favorite castmates rather on here. But you know what I see with you? You can't, not you don't want to. You can't bumble with Melody. So you get upset when nobody else wants to take on a task because you feel like somebody should do it, but you know you can't. And the reason why I say you can't is because when it was you, you backed down and was like, oh, Melody, I love you. You folded, bitch. You folded. So now you and your confessional saying, oh, Melody Kimmy is standing to the side and she not saying nothing. And that's why Melody do what she do because everybody lets her slide because look what Kimmy doing. Look what you allow Melody to do to you. Your issue is you want people to fight your battles because you can't battle with Melody. Everybody don't have to do that, Destiny. You need to learn how to do so, right? So like I said, basically Kimmy was like, I'm not getting involved. They did the little dance because, like I said, Maurice had his motherfucking salsa shoes on and he was ready to merengue and tango and everything else with that bitch. He was not afraid, right? So I could appreciate that. Anywho, because a lot went on. This barbecue got lit. This wasn't just for the kids. This barbecue got lit up. So now barbecue still going on, still running, and Marquez is still going up. Marquez was going around pleading his case before in the last episode. He's still doing so. So now he goes sits down at the cast table, and at the cast table was everybody from the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast that was there. So it was Maurice, Kimmy, Mr. Chris Fletcher, Melody. I think it's Lance. Nell's son. It was everybody there, right? So Maurice, he just sits there. He's trying to plead his case, right? And again, looking like a pitiful dog because you already did this with the fellas. Why are you here, Ike? We don't even know you. So you know what was so sad? The son, Latricia and Marquez's son came and he was like, Dad, come over here for a second. Let me holler at you. He was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're embarrassing yourself. Stop it. Don't be that guy. Not here, not now, not today, not in front of these people, not in front of these cameras, bro. Don't be that guy. Cut it out. Stop it. Pull yourself together. So you could see Marquez is like he was getting scolded by his father. Meanwhile, that's his son. But you could tell his son was embarrassed. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, and so he started trying to pull himself together. In the meantime, Ken taps him. Bop, bop, boss dog. Let me holler at you on the side. I think with Marquez's emotions, alcohol, the ceremony, the cast, and the cameras, that this situation is going to bubble over. So when Kim pulls him to the side, I was like, yeah, I don't think this gonna go well. So in any event, Ken pulled him to the side. Now Ken got a cup when he pulled him, and that also let me know, yeah, they all tipsy, they all in their feelings, and it's about to go up on a Tuesday, right? So when he pulled him to the side, he was like, "Listen, I don't have no issue with you, brother, and I know you have an issue, and I also understand what your issues are, which is why I'm trying to be empathetic, sympathetic, and synthetic, motherfucker. But at this point, you getting on my motherfucking nerves. I'm trying to be nice. You need to keep it together, right?" So I'm like, well, shit now. So Marquez was like, well, no, you wouldn't have an issue. You know why? Because you got the girl, you got the house, you got the kids, and you look like the motherfucking man in this situation. So no, you wouldn't be upset, right? You will be perfectly fine and calm just the way you are, right? So Ken is like, listen, bro, I'm not trying to step on your toes. I'm trying to be here and provide some support to your kids when you ain't around and do what I need to do as a man of this house. And Lord, the mudslinging started from the fuck there, okay? So now Marquez was like, well, listen, you ain't been no support to me, my nigga. You don't call me, so you ain't no support. But in any event, I'm gonna tell you what I think you are. I think you're a nigga that can't make your own babies, so you went and found the ready-made family, and you trying to overcompensate for this situation. And because of that, I don't like it. And then you moved in the next man's home and assume responsibility for his family without speaking to that man. So for that, I have a motherfucking problem with it. And Ken was like, oh, you do? Oh, you do? He said, you know how I was able to do so, my nigga? Because you wasn't present. You were absent. And you've been absent. So because of that, I showed up present like a real man supposed to, stepped in the motherfucking shoes, and I held it the fuck down. It ain't my fault you couldn't hold your woman down when everybody around her was dropping dead on her. So Marquez was like, wait, hold the fuck on. She said, I ain't hold the fuck her down. I seen her dead mama, her dead papa, her dead auntie, her dead uncle. What the fuck you mean? She said, I ain't hold it down. But you know what? You know what? I don't blame you. I blame her. I blame Latricia. I said, Lord, this shit was going up on a Tuesday. This is all at the kids' graduation barbecue. So now, one piece of back and forth. Boom, 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 boom. Latricia slides over because they get loud, chest is poking out, noses is flaring. You can see it's a sword fight. So Latricia came over. Her initial thing was to try to de-escalate, but as soon as she came over, Marquez dived on her. Yeah, ho, I blame you. You lifting weights. You met another nigga that lift weights, and y'all think y'all in the gym, so y'all think y'all motherfuckers better than me. So Latricia was like, hold on, Hollywood, hold the fuck on. I was trying to come down over here and bring it down, calm it down, and heal it the fuck up, will it the fuck up. But since you want to go there, you going around the crowd trying to make everybody feel sorry for you, when really and truly you just a sorry motherfucker. And on top of that, you in here telling these motherfuckers that I ain't doing what I got to do. Bitch, I got some paper signed, notarized today. Take that, ho. I was like, oh shit. God damn. Marquez ain't shit. He said, you drunk, ain't you, bitch? You drunk, ain't you? The fuck? Oh my God, this shit went crazy. So anyway, after that, Latricia walked off. I'm done with your ass. I ain't talking no more. It's going up on a Tuesday. I'm tired of you for the night. So when she went back over to the cat table where everybody was sitting, everybody was like, Latricia, you okay? Everything all good? She like, yeah, it's all good. This nigga just retarded, and I'm tired of his shit. So here, Melody now. I think Latricia is still in love with him because she just gets so triggered by him. Melody, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. Because you remember when you was over there talking about God said go and all of that. You also was being, first of all, you just stopped being triggered by Martell 45 minutes ago. Okay, so can we also assume that you was still in love with his motherfucking ass when you was letting him drive your stupid ass crazy? So don't try to make it seem like because she not having this nigga bullshit, every time he tries, she dragging her nuts across his neck and letting him know I'm not here for it and checking his ass that she triggered by him and she still want him. Girl, you were triggered by your fucking ex as well. But when they said that about you, man, I don't want Martell. I left him. God said go. Yeah, girl, he's still saying it. Shut up. So that irritated me. So anywho, in the next scene, Latricia, Kimmy, and Tisha, they go to have lunch, right? So they did discussing. Hold on. They did discussing the grab barbecue. So they telling all of the hell that came up at the barbecue and how rough it got, how they saw another side of Latricia and da da da. But it was one thing that I got a little bit confused on, and I guess when y'all do the replay and watch the video, y'all can let me know what that was about. They was like how Latricia said some slick shit to Melody. I guess when Melody said she still was in love with Marquez, I missed that part. I missed that part because Trisha don't give me, she gonna poke her chest out at Melody, and Melody give, if you do, bitch, I'm ready, clauses on. So I don't remember that part, but according to Kimmy, she was telling Tisha that Trisha did say some such shit to Melody. I ain't hear it. Anywho, they started discussing how Melody was questioning Trisha in regards to her and Martell's training session and all that bullshit. And they was going into, girl, you must really care because why are you asking about that, so on and so forth, right? So then they brought up how she also was questioning the rest of the cast about Maurice's arrest. And they ain't shit. He go on showing her every scene. Hey, so did you see the lipstick? Hey, so do you know he thinks he's Hezekiah Walker? Hey, so you know they said he been said this. They tore you up, Melody. They show every fucking scene of you being on your private eye messy shit. They was not letting you get around that one. And I could appreciate that, right? So Kimmy was like, listen, I'm just annoyed. I'm just annoyed. She was like, because first of all, when it initially happened, you came, you spoke to me. And when you spoke to me, you didn't say all this messy shit, right? And if anything, if you had some issues that you wanted to, bring awareness to, or you wanted to have conversation about, say it to me. Don't wait until you leave me and then go tell everybody else or ask everybody else about what took place. Ask me. I'm the woman involved in it. And she's like, and then you trying to make it seem like when you ask these other people, you're so concerned. You're not concerned. You was being malicious and trying to be messy, bitch. And because of that, I'm going to have to check your ass, because what I do believe is your goal is to go around and show that everybody else man is on some bullshit because your man got caught red-handed being on some bullshit, right? And you know what is so crazy? When Kimmy was saying all of that, I was like, wow, it was like deja vu for me, because I experienced that. I experienced being in relationship with a person, and they were in close proximity to a man that I was dating, because the man that I was dating was a relative of the person they were dating. And that didn't work out. So it always was on some, be careful, because this person might be just like your person. And it's like, sweetie, why are you trying to prove that my man is your man? That's not, girl. It's just some old hating shit, and it's annoying, because it's like, why just because you're not happy, you don't want to see me happy. But there goes the old adage, which is misery loves company. So anywho, in the next scene, we see Nell and Chris at a fencing club. I love Nell and Chris Fletcher. I love Nell and Chris Fletcher. I love this couple. I want to be the 60-plus-year-old that's always finding more activities and things to do to keep our relationship spicy, to keep us healthy, and to keep us in love. So I love that, because remember last time we seen them going like salsa dancing or something. So I love their relationship. So anyway, because that's how me and my Pookie gonna be. So anyway, they sat down. They was all out of breath. Nell had beat him at fencing. He was like, "This is my first time. I never been fencing before. She knows it's better, but she brought it up to us, so we went to do it." And like I said, I love that little old head couple. So anyway, when they sat down to talk, Chris was like, "Listen, I spoke to your son Lance, and we coming up on our 30-year wedding anniversary. Come on, God." Come on, God, to have a Black successful couple celebrating 30 years. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. Come on, God. So anyway, he was like, I spoke to your son, and he was telling me, because Chris and Nell have children of their own. They don't have children together, like Chris has kids and then Nell has kids. Right? But they all like one blended family. So I guess, now Lance, which is Nell's son, must be really close to Chris as well. Again, they've been together 30 fucking years, so he got to be close to him. And he was like, Mama Love said that she's not interested in celebrating your 30th wedding anniversary. And Chris is like, I know you the celebration queen. Like, what's up with that? So she was like, I just feel like, so what she said, and y'all let me know if I heard this wrong. She said that little Chris has been incarcerated a number of times, and I've had to pay for that. If little Chris is who I think he is, I think that's Chris' son, but I don't know if it's Nell's son as well. I'm inclined to believe it must be if she's, divvying out the funds. But anywho, she was saying that because of that, her funds have run low, and she just can't afford to celebrate how she wants to, right? And she also, so Chris was like, well, listen, it ain't just you putting your money to the festivities, it's me as well. And we gonna make this happen. And then he was like, but I think the real issue is, which Lance led on, and I believe it's true, is that your mom is not around. And that's who you were very close to. And I think you're still grieving. And that's why you don't want to celebrate. And once he said that, Miss Mel broke down. She said during their 25th wedding anniversary celebration, her mom was dying. And she was like, she's just feeling the grief of not having her mom around and then having these celebratory moments and not having her mom there. They really weigh heavy on her. So she don't want to really have any more of them because she's just tired of crying and grieving and missing her mom. And she just had a breakdown. She got up, she was crying. I love about Chris Fletcher. He got up, he was like, listen, I got you. I know you grieving. Every situation she brought up that was an obstacle, Mr. Chris was basically trying to like smooth it and get it out the way to make her happy. He followed her, and it was so cute because when she went in the bathroom and she was crying, the cameras couldn't see her. And she was like, come on, I'm crying. It's making me look crazy. And he was like, no, you don't. You look beautiful. It was just so sweet. I love seeing that older couple, about to celebrate 30 years and being and thriving and successful. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So that was their package. So next up, Marquez and Latricia met up to have ice cream, right? So I didn't hear this part. I saw this on social media, but I didn't hear the part about the kids were supposed to come, but both kids bailed out. According to Latricia, the daughter wasn't feeling good, and the son was pretty much off Marquez, so he didn't want to come. But I think he was orphaned from the barbecue. I know this is going to sound messy, but I'm going to say it, and y'all hold my hand while I say it. I want Marquez as a cast member on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I think him and Martell together would be dire fucking biblical, and I'm here for that drama. So, anywho, we listen and we don't judge. So, anywho, the conversation opened up about Trisha and Marquez talking about the barbecue. And once again, it's the same old. Marquez accusing, Latricia being defensive. They are just toxic together, which is why it's a beautiful thing that they're apart, right? So Marquez was like, I'm starting to feel like you and this nigga trying to play me. Like before, I was sitting back looking at it like, oh, this might be a good thing. But then as time goes on and y'all telling people shit, I'm feeling like y'all trying to fucking play me. And Latricia was like, Marquez, nobody is talking about your whack, dumb, broke, emotional ass. You're discussing us and we have rebuttals. Other than that, your name will never come up because you're a non-motherfucking factor in our book, and we moving on to proceeding without you, right? So Marquez is like, you know what, you get on my motherfucking nerves because you keep trying to act like he that nigga and he is assumed responsibility for these kids. Bitch, I ain't been there for these fucking kids. I don't call them every day. She said, yeah, you called. That's the problem, bitch. I'm asking you to show up. Stop calling and show the fuck up. Do what fathers do. Do what men do. And in the meantime, stop getting motherfucking mad at Ken because he doing what a real man does. I said, pussy slut. Right? So he ain't shit. Once she popped on her shit, hear him now. You know what, Latricia, you need counseling. Marquez is a fucking top tier gaslighter, and I could see why they did not work, right? So Latricia was just sharing like how he needs to be more present. She was like, listen, I don't want to talk about the past. You want to talk about the past? I'm done with you. I'm done with that. Let's talk about moving forward. Show up 5 fucking kids. Show up 5 kids because they both really, really need you. Whether they got kin or not, they need their fucking father, right? So, Marquez said, which piqued my interest because I told you I want him to be a full-time cast member. He said, well, I'm trying to move back from Atlanta and I'm trying to come to Huntsville. I want to be closer to the kids, right? You can see in Marquez's dialogue and his conversation, his reactions, the way he moved with Trisha, that he loves Latricia. He loves Latricia, and he's low-key hurt that it's not one more fighting chance for them to be a couple. But Latricia is looking at him like, bitch, all the shit you did and said when we together and even after, I'm done with your ass. And then on top of that, I'll say this as a woman. Once you meet a man and they make up for all the shit that another nigga lacked, you would never want that other nigga again. I don't care what they do, you won't want them again. And that seems to be what happened. Latricia is like, I done moved on. I found happiness. I found love. I found support. I'm done with your ass. Divorce papers signed, sealed, and delivered, right? Marquez is a nutcase, but he definitely knows how to trigger Latricia. And that's his strong suits. And it's hilarious how he does it. So I want him as a full-time cast member. So last but not least is the show motherfucking down, hold down. Let me take a sip of my drink. Last but not least is the showdown, hold down between Melody and Kimmy, right? It's so funny because they went to a restaurant to sit down and talk. Kimmy invited her. They both was dressed up, looking really, really cute. When they got there, it's crazy that when they sat down, it was a chessboard in between the two. And that's because I feel like that's what the ass is going to mentally play chess, right? So Kimmy opens up in a true Aquarius style, very transparent. Listen, I heard your ass been going around insinuating and making assumptions about my motherfucking man, and you supposed to be a motherfucking homegirl. What the fuck is that about? Because I don't like it, right? So Melody was like, but I don't feel that I need to discuss that with you. I don't need to have that conversation with you, Kimmy, because you didn't heard everything that I said, so you know how I feel. So why would I have that conversation with you? So Kimmy is like, bitch, I'm pressing you because you pissed me the fuck off, and you further and pissing me off with this BS response you giving me right now when you going around popping shit about my motherfucking husband and making insinuations about bullshit, right? So again, they both saying these things to each other very nice, nasty, but that's the long and the short of it, right? And what they also doing is they saying how they really feel in their confessionals. Melody, Melody, and again, I've never been attacked by the millimeters. Maybe this will be my first time, but I'm gonna have to say this, right? Ever since season one, ever since season one, the narrative about you has been you are full of shit. That, aside from the millimeters, that's what other people have said about you. Me, I was on the fence about it. I wasn't necessarily buying into, I felt that way about you, but I wasn't necessarily totally against it. I'm like, I mean, I like Melody. She seemed cool. She seemed ambitious. She seemed classy. But this right here, what you did in these moments with real ass bitch Kimmy, when she was giving you real ass bitch moments, you show you full of shit. You full of shit. You full of shit. And tonight really proved that you was full of shit because you sit around and you talk about how people are not girls, or how people keep the narrative of bullshit going, how people give what they how people give energy to what they see on social media and create narratives and all of the things that you basically said you don't like that people do, you did tonight. You did tonight, baby. Your slip was motherfucking showing. And one thing I love about Kimmy, God is so good, and that's the Aquarius. How you better work it out, Kimmy. She's not like these other people, so you can't gaslight her to start like Martell and Tisha to start yelling and getting all erratic. So now you look like you're the innocent victim. No. Kimmy kept it together, but she was very firm. She was very assertive. She was very to the point, and she landed the plane. And what she was saying was that you are creating a narrative that you have no proof to support. You're also doing this and saying that you're my friend. So if there's something that you feel like you need to say to me, you can say it. But if there's something that you feel like you need to say to me, you can say it. But if there's something that you feel like you need to say to me, you can say it. Because at the end of the day, you are creating a narrative that you have no proof to support. You had absolutely no response for Kimmy. None. You had none. And that was not fair to her because she was being a grown ass woman with you. She was being a grown ass woman with you. She was keeping it real. She wasn't BSing you. She was calling you on your shit down to the carpet, down to the congregation, and you bullshitted and you flaked and you did everything to her that you claim you don't like done to you. So I'm gonna have to call bullshit on you, Melody. They was right about you. You full of shit. You don't respect girl code. You don't respect peace. You messy. You love drama, and they right about you. Millimeters, y'all gonna have to tear me up, but it was what it was, right? Kimmy was coming to you woman to woman, and you was coming back like a bitch. That shit wasn't cool. Anywho, Kimmy tied it up in a bow. She was like, listen, I'm just asking you, ho, not to run your mouth about me. And I'm gonna appreciate that when you do have time to run your mouth, you run that shit by me. Here, Melody. Okay, well, Kimmy, your feelings matter. That conversation matter, and I won't do it again. Melody, your ass was full of shit, but this was a good ass episode nonetheless. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, share, and please subscribe. Please drop down in the comments. Let me know, did I miss anything from this episode? Drop down. Let me know what y'all thought about my commentary. Tune the fucking. Thank you guys. I appreciate you and enjoy your weekend and holiday season.